Hello everyone. Many users think that installing Arch Linux is very difficult, but if you spend 10 minutes in this video, I will show you that installing Arch Linux is not as complicated as you think, or maybe you will be able to install it by yourself after watching this video. So first of all, we have to choose between 64-bit and 32-bit system. As my system is 64-bit, I am going with 64-bit option. So the first thing we need to do is check our internet connection. To do this, type ping-c3 google.com. Perfect. Our internet connection is okay. So for Arch Linux installation, we need wired internet connection. You can check your internet interface by IP link. You can use wireless medium, but for that you need to install some other application which is quite complicated. And I will recommend you a wired connection for Arch Linux installation. To ensure that system clock is accurate, type time date ctl set -ntp true. To check service status, type time state ctl status. To make our installation process as fast as possible, we need to configure our mirror list to use the nearest and fastest servers. To do this, we're gonna use a Reflector tool. First, we need to update pacman database. Type pacman-syy. When the database is updated, we need to install Reflector. Type pacman-S reflector. So the Reflector tool is installed. To use it, type reflector-c, a country name. In my case, it is India. Then -f 12 -l 10 -n 12 dash dash save /etc/pacman.t/mirrorlist. So the next step is to partition our drive. To view the disk partitions, type fdisk -l. So you can see currently there is no partition. Maybe you have one. To edit our partition, type cfdisk/dev/sda. Now select DOS option. Let's create a new partition. It will be primary. And now let's put the bootable flag on. Press enter on bootable option, then select write and type yes. To view the partition we created, again type fdisk -l. Now let's format that partition in ext4 format as it is Linux partition. Type mkfs.ext4/dev/ and the partition name. In my case it's sda1. Now let's mount that partition to mnt for Linux installation. Type mount/dev/sda1 and /mnt. To check the mount partition, type lsblk. As you can see, our SDA1 is successfully mounted on MNT path. Now let's install base system. Type pacstrap-i/mnt base and base 7. The next step is to generate step file. To do this, type generate -u -p/mnt right arrow and /mnt/etc/fstep. Let's check fstep file. Type cat/mnt/etc and fstep. As you can see, it contains partition that we have just created. Now we need to log into our newly installed system as root user. To do this, type arch-chroot/mnt/bin/bash. The next step is to set local of our system. To do this, type ln-sf user share zone info and your location. In my case, it's Asia/Kolkata and space/etc/local time. After that, also type hwclock -sys to hc -utc. We also need to set locale of our system. To do this, type nano etc locale.zen. And in the file, uncomment the locale you want to use. I'm gonna use English UTF-8 and press Ctrl X and then Y and hit enter to save the changes. Now generate the locale by typing locale-zen. Now let's give name to our computer. Type echo and the computer name. In my case, it's archpc right arrow /etc/host name. We also need to edit the host file. Type nano/etc/host. Now add one line here. Type 127.0.0.1 localhost.localdomain and the host name you set. In my case, it's archpc. and press Ctrl X and then Y and hit enter to save the changes. Now enable the network services on startup. Type systemctl enable dhcpcd. Let's create a password for root account. Type passwd. Now type your password and again. Now let's install microcode. Type pacman-s and amd-u code. If you have Intel processor, then type intel-u code. In my case, it's AMD. Now let's install grub bootloader. Type pacman-s grub and os prober if you have multiple OS installed. Let's install grub on the master boot record. Type grub-install /dev/sda. Now generate the grub config file. To do this, type grub-mkconfig-o/boot/grub/grub.cfg. When it's done, type exit. It's time to boot our new system. First, unmount the partition by typing umount-r/mnt and then reboot. Now select the boot existing OS. Let's log in as root and then type password you set during the installation. Now let's add a new user to the system. Type user add -m-g users -g wheel -s/bin/bash and the username. Now create a password for that user. Type passwd and the username. Now let's add that user to the sudo list. Type editor equals nano vi sudo. Uncomment the line wheel all and press Ctrl X and then Y and hit enter to save the changes. Now press exit and login from new user. Now install audio drivers. To do this, type sudo pacman-s pulse audio and pulse audio also. Now enter the password. Now install the xorg server. Type sudo pacman-s xorg and xorg-x init. Now press 1 if you have integrated graphic card and 2 for NVIDIA graphic cards. I have NVIDIA graphic card, so I'm going with second option. If you don't know what to choose, go with the option 1. Now add the start command. Type echo exec start kde right arrow and ~x init-rc. Now let's install Plasma desktop environment. Type sudo pacman-s plasma desktop. Go with defaults, press enter. So before entering into GUI, let's install some basic programs. Type sudo pacman-s console dolphin firefox kit. Now it's time to switch to GUI mode. To do this, type start X. And congratulations, you have successfully installed Arch Linux at your own. Now before going, there are few things that is to be done. Open up console and install sddm. Type sudo pacman-s sddm. Now enable it on startup. Type sudo systemctl sddm.service and now reboot and you are done. In next video I will show you how you can configure it according to your need, like installing basic programs, themes, icon, etc. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. See you next time.